Good evening. Thank you all again so much for tuning in. This is the Real Deal Fam Network. I am Andre, and this is my beautiful wife, Essie,
the boss,
also known as the boss. We thank y'all so much for tuning in this evening. Also, for all the support we have been receiving, we thank you again. And if you hadn't had the opportunity yet, please hit that subscribe button and also like and share.
Subscribe now.
Yes, please subscribe. Thank you. With that being said, we're going to dive right in tonight and get into something that's near and dear to my heart and also to everybody in the country at the moment.
It's near and dear.
Yeah.
A lot of people just don't want to deal with it.
Well, you don't want to deal with it, but you have to. It's called the Black Vote. Based on this year, 2020 presidential election, I think the Black Vote is going to be critical in the overall turnout in the process of how this election comes out. Somebody's
not very good candidate.
I think that's been the prevailing thought amongst a lot of people, is that the candidates haven't been overly impressive. But if you look at it from our perspective in total, even if the candidates are very charismatic or anything, or put forth any kind of platform, I don't think even in the past it had turned out for our best interests overall.
Not even with Barack?
Not even with y'all beloved Barack Obama.
With y'all. He's from y'all. Us.
Well, that.
What's wrong with Barack?
Well, I think Barack meant well, but
President Obama.
Yeah,
respectful.
Yes, former president of the United States, President Obama, 44. He meant well, but he had to do, I guess, what was in his best interest. And at the time, the country was in a lot of turmoil, and he did some things that kind of bailed out a few people that really cost us a lot in the end. I think under Obama, they said we lost the most wealth we've lost in a long time.
Well, they say that was because of the, effects of Bush, and he was coming into it. So how do you explain that away?
I explained that away by the policies that was done. There were things that could have been done more specifically to help not only the African American community, but anybody at the lower end of the spectrum in terms of financially, to help them as opposed to giving the money to the banks. I thought the capitalistic system was supposed to work that if the business fails, it closes.
So if you didn't know, and you haven't heard in the streets, President Obama is allegedly part of the boule. Okay, he was put in place to do specific tasks, and he did do good things. He put in place the health care. But aside from that, he did do more capitalistic gains for those that are not of his creed, and nothing for his own people. In fact, many people, lost their houses and different things like that during the, the housing bubble, but he didn't do anything to kind of help people get financing for houses and so on and so forth. And, it's just a mess. He could have did a lot more. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, and I think what speaks more truth to that is that when President Obama came in, I think he had the House and the Senate. And after his first term, I think everything flipped. We ended up losing the House and the Senate. And from that time on, that made it very difficult for Hillary when she ran against Trump. The African-American vote didn't turn out the same as they did for Barack. I guess we felt like we had got slighted.
Yeah, I mean, he could have did a lot more towards the end, but, things was in place where he didn't have as much power in the Senate, and then, that wasn't what he was tasked, set out to be doing, supposedly. Word on the street.
Well, with that happening in the way it did, like I say, the black vote probably didn't turn out in the same numbers that they did for Barack. And in comes Trump. And Trump has been in for the past 4 years here, and now we got a new election going on. And the Democratic Party has been having a little bit of a rough go of it in the primaries and getting the black vote out again.
Trump just needs to talk. It'll make us angry. He's been kind of quiet.
Well, I think for us, the issues have become a little bit more clearer. I don't think it's so much that it's just a vote to get Trump out. I think that if you support somebody so long, if you have a family member or somebody you've been supporting for a long time, you expect something back. You expect for either them to grow in a certain sense or some kind of reward coming back to you. And I think overall the black vote has been loyal to the Democratic Party, but hadn't received anything in return.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's true. You can't deny that. So, what do they have to say? We have Bernie Sanders, who's a outright socialist. And then
self-proclaimed.
Then we have who?
You got Joe Biden. Now that's a shame. She don't even remember the man's name. And he was the vice president.
For me. Sorry.
Yeah. And the thing of it is, I think if you want to get the black community enthused and feel like they part of the system, you got to go ahead and do something tangible for us. It's been a long time. Every 4 years we go through the same song and dance, and I don't think there's been any kind of advancement.
And not taking Flavor Flav's lyrics, that's for one.
Yeah. So, and getting on stage and dancing with black artists and so forth, that's not going to cut it. The black people are a lot more sophisticated than that. They have real needs, and I think it's incumbent upon the candidates to push forth some type of agenda over. I mean, it's been a long time. Just throw us something. You know what I mean?
No, that's the problem. We don't just want something. We want some good policies and initiatives. Otherwise,
that's what I'm talking about. Put forth some type of agenda.
Something that ain't gonna work.
Yes, because this stuff, the term reparations has been thrown around a lot here lately, and a lot of the candidates kind of shy away from that. They don't want to get involved in that. They don't want to be tied to it, so they stay away from it. But it's a real thing brewing in the African-American community, and there's a lot of concern about it. If you want the younger vote, you're going to have to put forth initiatives like that. You're going to have to talk about stuff that's pertaining to them. Now, I think recently, Bernie Sanders was winning and projected to be heading in the primary election. But Joe Biden did excellent in the Super Tuesday. And they say that was because of the blacks in the South.
The older generation.
I think that was key.
Well, in the Old Testament, what did they say? The older generation didn't get to go to the Promised Land because they was holding back and wanted to stay, was complaining and didn't want to get. Actually, reparations, that was one thing they had to get from the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh told them no, they couldn't leave, and then as Moses kept coming back with the plagues, he would give them something else. Like, take the cattle, or take the, you could take the gold, take this and that. But he had to collect a list of things that God told him. And if he didn't get all of it, then he had to come with another plague. And so that was one thing, they had to leave with people and with all the stuff, reparations. So, if you didn't know,
word to the wise.
Reparations is difficult.
Yes. So I think that, like my wife say, that the older generation tend, I guess, kind of set in their ways. And
they were left in Egypt, or actually they were, taken out if they didn't want to go with the plan. So, that's kind of scary. Yeah,
that is. That's a little bit extreme, but you definitely want to. I think the older generation got to start looking at things for real. I think if you depending on Social Security, you depending on Medicare and things of that nature, that's not promised to you. I know it's been around a long time since what was it, FDR, but those things can change at any moment, and policies change and people change. So I think y'all got to get behind the momentum.
Yeah, you have a couple of candidates that you have Trump, who wants to slash and get rid of it totally, but then you got Bernie, who's a socialist. You don't know what you're going to get with that. Everybody's going to be given a specific amount, everybody, including working class. And anybody who's indigent, too young, too sick, anything, they get... basically they have to get X'd out. That's what socialism is. Anybody who's a burden on the system, and then you can't have any of your own businesses. The government owns all the business, just like in China. So that's socialism. I'm just letting you know. So
yeah, there's
no
no specific program that is foolproof. Not capitalism, not socialism, not feudalism. None of them are perfect. Each one of them has its flaws.
And we're not advocating just for Biden, because
no,
he got memory issues. What he said, I can't remember that. Just saying. You know, he might have passed his prime. So
yeah, you can only be in the game so long, right?
you know, that's what they say. Word on the street.
Yes, but Bernie has always been. I think the older people kind of overlook Bernie because, just like my wife
Bernie's older as well.
He is, but
you know, he seems to have his wherewithal.
He does, and he seems to be passionate about what he want to do. And he's, I think the point that he made is he wanted to expand Medicare and Social Security. So the older people probably looking towards him, but Joe Biden history has been to cut Social Security from a long time ago. He's always been advocating that.
Well, didn't Joe Biden, before he was vice president, was involved with locking up black people?
Yes, he supported it. I guess he was the architect of the crime bill. And I think, you know, Ronald Reagan was very conservative. He was like, Joe, now you more conservative than me. That's a bit extreme, but I think it passed, and you got a lot of brothers and sisters got incarcerated.
Yeah, nearly 40% of the black male population is in some kind of prison system, you know.
Yeah.
So that's a lot due to Joe Biden and the times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just...
I think, just like my wife said, there's not really any candidates. Because if you, just like she just explained, if you took a deep dive into Joe Biden, is he somebody you really would trust to have your best interest if he wasn't around? I mean, doesn't sound like he pushed policies that wasn't really for you or pro black folk. But they said, like, he was in the South on Super Tuesday, he cleaned house.
Looking at John in the black church.
Yeah, like my wife said, that was from the older people. But you have to take that stuff into consideration. You just can't shuck and jive and dance with a person every 4 years, and then in between that time, they do you wrong and don't do nothing for you.
Sound like Al Lawson.
Oh, boy. But there should be an exchange. We vote for you so you can represent us and bring us something. It's not we vote for you and then you dip and get lost.
Oh, my goodness. At least Gordon Brown brought you a turkey.
Well, well, yeah. But we need tangibles. We need somebody who's going to go out there. We need somebody we can get behind. But if we don't have a candidate, I don't really know what we to do at this point. It's almost like a point of futility. Right in.
I mean, unless it gets any better from here, that's what I got to do. Write it in.
Yes. So,
you want to be president, honey?
No, I don't. But hey, possibly that might be an option for us. Someday we might want to come up with our own particular party. Do you think that might be something we can get somebody to represent us?
No. God said he's got to go from this land. So
yeah, just like I just said, that's probably futile in the long run. I think at this moment, like my wife said, I think you got to keep prayed up and keep your heart right, and use wisdom and discretion when it comes to things of this nature. You know good folk when you see them. You know when they really have your best interests.
Yeah.
Just don't be out there voting just to be doing something.
Yeah, research your candidates. Pick one that's the best for you and somebody's going to do something for you.
Exactly. And if you don't feel like anybody in the game fits that bill, then you're going to have to find some other option. Some people choosing to sit out. Some people choosing, like my wife say, write in the candidate. And I guess some people just close their eyes.
That's the option on the table, you know?
Yes. But like we say, that's for each individual to make their own decision. And
so are you voting for Trump?
No, I'm not voting for Trump. I don't particularly care for Trump or his policies. They haven't been very good for the country. But one thing I can say that Trump has been excellent in, and that has been awakening a lot of folk to what's really going on behind the scenes.
You can get behind.
Yeah.
You really know the position of people because of the election and Trump is in the office. I mean, at least what they say, you rather have the devil than the one you know.
Yes, that you can't respect the man for that. You know where he stand. He don't hide it. He ain't trying to rub up against you and pretend. You know just who he is, and he let you know that. So you just take that into account.
Not sleeping with the enemy over there.
But had our good old Democrats got in there and won, we would have been in the same place. Everybody would have been still asleep and things. The wool would have been still getting pulled over your eyes. So, but we just came tonight just to talk about it a little bit. We want everybody to like we say, do some deep dive and pray about it and make the best decision that's for you and your household.
Yeah.
And thank y'all again so much for tuning in. Again, this is my beautiful wife, Essie, and we thank y'all again. Don't forget, please hit that subscribe button. We will have more videos coming out in the future, and you will be the first to get it. Thank you so much. And if you have any comments, please leave them below, and we will share them and edify them with everyone. Thank you.
Good night.